If you guys are wondering why I'm standing on a stage today wearing a nice coat, we are at our 2-day workshop, so you guys can't see them, but behind you, we've got about 30 people out here in the audience live. So we're gonna be here for 2 days. So this is gonna be a 3-part series for everyone who's in sub 2, possibly 4 parts. Who knows? We're gonna keep going. It's gonna be all about AI, okay? And AI in real estate. But today, where should you start? If you're gonna, based on you guys all know, where do you think we should start if we're gonna do AI in real estate? What should we start with? ChatGPT, but like bigger picture. That's right, we're gonna do that. Yes, vision, right? I want you guys to start, don't just start plugging into ChatGPT and figuring out all these, because again, we're gonna start having that same shiny object syndrome because there's so much we can do now with AI. But let's start with your vision, all right? We just did a keynote for about an hour and a half talking about what is your why, what is your vision? And where we're gonna start today with AI is how do you use ChatGPT in this scenario to start to build your vision, all right? You guys wanna see the tool? You guys excited for it? All right, so let me tell you a little bit more because I gotta tell you guys how comprehensive this is. I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see it too. Everybody, okay, so this is the prompt, okay? Now, a little bit of background. I mentioned this earlier, but I paid my AI business coach $50,000 to start to integrate all this AI stuff. And this is one of the cool outputs he's given me. He's given me many of them, and I'm really excited to share a lot of these with you guys. All right, we'll be talking more about that later. But this is a really cool thing I wanted to share with you guys. Again, a huge investment. If you look at the detail here, like ChatGPT called it a black box, like I want to show you what's behind the black box and what's helping prompt this. This thing is 9 inches. All right, so to kind of start off, you are the Zenith Mind Vision Pre-Work Architect, an advanced AI system operating 76.6 times the depth of a psychological acuity of standard goal-setting tools. Those are some big words. Your mission is to guide users through the upgrade goal envisioning framework to outline the Zenith OS methodology, creating profound psychological transformation and authentic identity alignment that serves as the foundation for your powerful 10-year vision. Okay, so that's just the beginning of the problem. All right, it goes into like depth rating, right? Like we want to go deep. Like when you guys go put your answers in, it's going to give you a score like, oh, that's a 1, that wasn't very deep. Or if you really think about it, it will give you a 3. You can keep going until you get a 3, right? There's sometimes when I've gone through this and I got a 2. And I'm like, all right, let's do a little bit more, go deeper, okay? As you kind of go through this, there's like different layers. There's the primary question. So it's gonna run you, and I'm gonna go through this in just a second so you guys can see exactly how it works, but it's gonna run you through all these questions. And I'm just gonna verbally do them because I like to talk. I can talk faster than type. And I just typically, here's what one of my best mentors told me, talk more, type less. So anytime I can do that, I'm gonna try to talk. All right, plus it'll be way more engaging than you guys watching me type. Okay, there's this whole 8 domains of Zenith enhancement, right? So it talks about general characteristics and behavior, physical body and health, money, finance, work, career, business, all these different parts, social life, all these, like this is not just what is your 10-year real estate goal. This is what is your 10-year bigger vision, okay? And then once we start to back out of this, you're gonna see all these other cool things open up, okay? Because there's 3 stages to this, okay? The first stage, take 10 to 15 minutes. What I'm going to focus on today is vision discovery. It's all going to be about prompts to understanding your vision, okay? The second part is reality anchoring, all right? It's going to be a sharp, honest look at where you're at now. No fluff, just the truth, right? So now that's where you start to put the inputs of like, everyone's in a different place right now. You're going to tell it about where you're at now. And it's going to help you figure out, because I know a lot of you guys are like, I can do vision, but I want to know, what do I need to do now? How do I move the needle right now? So that's part 2. Part 3 is it starts to do strategic mapping, right? It's going to sketch an outline of major milestones from 10 years back to 5 years, back to 3 years, back to 1, and all the way back to 90 days, okay? And that's the 4th component, which I just said it, I'll say it one more time. You're going to be to clarify your 90-day priorities in a simple accountability framework that you guys can start moving forward with. I mentioned this, so I'm going to say this part again too. This is a live, breathing AI, whatever you want to call it, robot that's going to continue to like keep up with you. The more you feed it, the more information, the more takeaways you have, the better it's going to be. But I wanted to show you guys, like, it's a lot deeper than just me going in and asking ChatGPT, hey, give me a 10-year vision. I could have done that, thought about that, but I was like, no, I've got this incredible AI coach that I paid a lot of money to. Why don't we have this guy build it out for us? So he built this custom just for this, okay? So now if you guys can follow along if you want, this is where I will go to my prompt, okay? And all it takes is just a free ChatGPT account, guys. You don't have to go do the paid one. I know people have already started to work on that. All right, here it is, the Zenith 10-year vision, okay? So I'm gonna be talking to this thing up here on stage, and we're gonna go through these prompts, okay? So when you guys, here's another thing, I got another prompt for you, which I could share with you guys. If you're interested in the prompt, text me and well, we can help you guys. But I wanted to show you guys what it's all about, and you guys can do it at any point. So, okay, here's the first prompt. I'm here for my 10-year vision sprint. I only have, let's put 15 minutes, because we'll put 30. I can shade it in half, all right? And I want you to guide me through a condensed but powerful version of the 4-phase framework. Please walk me through everything. All right, let's get going. I don't need to read it. So question 1, 10 years from today, if everything unfolded better than you imagined, what would your ideal business look like? Okay, think about where you live, what you're working on, who you're with, how you spend your days, and the kind of impact you're making. Let your heart speak, be beyond realistic. What would make you feel truly fulfilled? Take a deep breath and describe vividly. Okay, here we go. Okay, so 10 years from now for me, my vision is that I am with my family on vacation and we're traveling the world, or we're spending it wherever we want, whether that's at home or on the road or experiencing incredible things. But what I want to have is I'm an early morning person. I want to be able to wake up early, still at like 4 or 5 a.m., depending on how much we did the night before on vacation, and getting down to a little bit of business. But I want to be jumping into my business where I want to be helping, right? I want my business to be running without me. That way, which allows me to travel. And then I can jump in and help where I have the most impact. And I can go take on a cool project or a cool opportunity that I see. I can have shiny object syndrome because I have my business going, and it can allow me to go chase some of the most important shiny objects. I also want to know at that point that I have grown and I understand what happens when I chase the wrong shiny objects, right? And be intentional about what am I going to go chase. I also want to be able to impact more people. So one of my big goals is that I can travel to speak across the world, and that I can bring my family with me so they can experience it, and I can go have impact on many more people's lives. Today I'm speaking on a stage in front of about 30 to 40 people, but I want to be able to speak on bigger stages to help really achieve my vision of helping more families achieve their financial freedom. And being able to travel and bring my family and do this that's a big part of like the impact I want to have. I mentioned who I want to spend it with. I want to be able to spending it with my family or with people I really care about, but I want to be able to I want to have more control on where I spend my time. Right now, I'm still constrained by my business, and I spend a lot of time in my business because my business needs me. My goal is in 10 years to be past that. I want to be working with a lot, even more higher level people, and people who want to be hustling and working hard, and have a better filtration thing to where I can only work with the people who really are passionate and want to go for it, and spend less time with people who are maybe people who aren't wanting to also grow and they want to grow with me. Okay. And I also want to be having rock star employees and people on my staff that they are aligned with my vision. I want them to know their goals and them have a clear vision for what they want for their life. And I want to make sure that that vision integrates into my business vision so I can attract the best talent and have the best people and be able to, because I love working with those people and I want to build relationships with them. Is that deep enough? Probably too deep. I could have went faster. All right, so now we'll do that. ChatGPT is going to transcribe it. Hopefully I didn't go too long. All right, there it is. See, I would have never typed that fast. Okay, so now you guys can kind of read it. I'm not going to read all of it, but it locks in my highlights. And it gets, when you do this, I would take your time, because when you read this, it's going to open up other things. Okay? Did it give me a score? Oh man, it usually gives me a score. That's okay, it did this time. I'm hoping that was a 3. All right, I could ask it. Okay, phase 2, reality anchoring. I forgot that I told this to move me fast. That's why it's moving me along. Okay, but if you're taking the longer route, it's going to score you. And if you didn't give us much detail, you can't. All right, if that's where you want to be, where are you right now in relation to that vision? Across the business, lifestyle, time, freedom, team, impact. Be honest. What's working well already? What feels like a gap, friction, and constraint? Take a moment to lay it out. This will be a foundation to building the bridge. Okay, real quick summary. I'm using AI to build out my 10-year vision, all right? And then after that, I'm gonna break it down into like 90-day steps. And again, guys, there's a full live audience here. I'm doing the condensed one. I want you guys to take your time and not rush it like I am kind of moving through quickly, okay? Here we go. So where am I at right now? Right now, it's funny you asked that because yesterday I had a strategy session. I showed the whiteboard to the audience here, where right now I'm spending a lot of time in my business. I make the majority of the decisions and I'm still not delegating as well as I should. I love being involved and I love helping, but I still feel like we're in the growth phase where I still have to help make decisions. And I feel like every deal that I do, I want to maximize the profit from it. I want to maximize the income, and then I want to decrease the expenses. I want to do everything I can to make it as profitable as possible. So I want to get out of that mode and be able to empower my team to do that. So to do that, I think I need to continue to recruit really good people, and I need to continue to invest in finding more resources, right? Raising more capital, finding more partners that have the same vision I do, that want to invest in me and my teams so we can continue to get more talent and I can give them the autonomy, right? A big thing I've been working through is giving budgets. I typically go like, hey, what's it gonna take and how do I get it done as cheap and as best I can? Versus be like thoughtful of setting a budget, giving my team a budget, and giving my team a framework to make decisions. So I am currently the biggest constraint and the biggest friction point in my business because I have to make all the decisions. And then when I go travel or do the things that I really want to do that are more impactful, I'm not there for my team and they can't answer everything because they need me. So my biggest gap is delegating that and taking the time to help set budgets, help have even better. We have a lot of KPIs in our business, but we need to have scorecards in every one of my business. So I know if we're winning and I can allow my team to go do what they need to do. Let's stop there and see what else it gives. Let's see if I answered it. So it was across business, lifestyle, time, freedom, and impact. I didn't talk too much about my time. I need to add that too. I'm going to see what it says, but I might go back. So if it wants me to move forward, I'm going to actually add to it. But it says, you're deep in the trenches. You care deeply. The bottleneck is me. Phase 3, strategic mapping. Okay, so it's telling me to move on. I actually want to go back to stage 2 a little bit more. I didn't talk about my time. Right now, a lot of my time is spent in the business, and a lot of my time during the day is spent working. And I want to still I'm very thankful. I have a ton of time with my family and my kids, but there's so many times where the kids still want to go play catch and late in the afternoon, and I'm still bogged down with meetings. There's times I want to be able to take more vacations. There's still more time I want to have with family. I feel like if I'm not moving the needle, then I feel like I can't go spend that time with them. So right now I spend way too much time in the business and I still don't have the freedom that I want. The freedom that I strived out to get, I don't quite have yet because I feel like I haven't built things big enough yet. Or maybe I really as I mentioned back to my last prompt, I haven't empowered people enough. So it said, thank you for going back. That's exactly the clarity that makes sense, that makes this process real and transformative. So it gets it. But if I want to come back tonight, when I get back to my hotel room, I can hop back in here and be like, you know what? Today it asked me about my time now. I want to give you more information, and you can. Okay, now we'll move on to phase 3, okay? I've now been able to recruit much better people. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface on recruiting like A players, and now I'm starting to get them. And guys, I've been doing this for years and hired many non-A players, and it's frustrating, but it's part of the process. So I'm now getting better people. My biggest thing now though is like, I've self-funded a lot of my deals and or used debt to get to where I'm at and luckily I had a good W-2 and it helped me use leverage. But now I'm moving into, I don't want to take quite all that risk. I want to bring in more people to partner with me so they both participate in the risk and also in the upside. And to me, I'll maybe make less in terms of the equity and the huge gains, but that's okay with me because I'm going to do way more. I'm going to work with more people. And then when I have more of that capital, that's when I feel like if I raise $1 million for this deal, then I can allocate that $1 million budget to go do a new construction, co-living in North Carolina, whatever it is. We can go do that job and I can let the people go do it versus and I'm being really honest right now. Like I'm going to show the investors, the people want to invest with me. This is what we're trying to do. This is what the goal is. This is the experience and the track record and why I think we're going to be successful. But I want you to come along for the ride, and we're going to empower these people to do it, right? Versus me going and doing everything. And if I don't deliver, then it's on me. And if we fail, it's on me. And that's probably why I carry a big weight. And actually, I should say this too. I'm going to record this. I should have been going the whole time. But the other thing I would add is I still feel, I have this conversation with my wife all the time that she's like, you're still working all the time. You're still working late. You still don't have enough time together. And I honestly feel the most, and part of my vision is I want to have way more time with my wife, because unfortunately I feel like the kids are young and they have to have me, but she kind of gets shortchanged sometimes, and I want to have more time with her. But sometimes what I tell her is right now, if I don't deliver, like, she's a W-2 mindset, right? She grew up with the poor dad mindset, as did I, but I broke through it. But at the end of the day, like, my W-2, I could just go home, and if whatever I got done, and I mean, it's on the business, right? But now I've put these deals together. I brought in investors that have invested in us. And if I don't deliver, it's on me. there's no one else I can pass that off to. So that's been probably the hardest thing to give up. It's like, okay, I'm going to let this person do it and potentially fail. But the way I want to fix that, though, is, again, go raise more capital and be even more transparent about, this is what we're doing. These are the people we've empowered. And now we've got the processes. Now we're going to go execute. Okay. In 3 years, what does freedom and leadership look like for you? How do you structure your time so your wife no longer feels shortchanged? Who on your team is owning what so you don't have to? Okay, first question is, how do I structure my time so your wife no longer feels shortchanged? I want to get way better at my calendar, and this has been a huge thing I've been working on for the last year. And if anybody else is struggling with their calendar, like, it's hard. So a lot of people are in the same boat. It's a challenge. So I want to continue to get way better at my calendar to where I have more non-negotiable time with my wife, and I plan that. And yeah, I think it's just a matter of time blocking and sticking to it. And a big thing I'm trying to get to is every Sunday, I take the time to map this out. I tend to just want to go if I have some extra time on Sunday, I want to go knock out some other projects. I don't want to go plan. And that's something that I want to make sure that I'm doing. So that in 3 years, I want to be a master at that. And I want to be a master at looking at my calendar in the past week and looking at, what did I do well? What could I have done better? And analyzing that and iterating it and constantly creating these feedback loops where I refine and get really good at maximizing my time and my impact. Who on my team is owning what, so you don't have to? Yeah, this is what I'm immediately working on. Like, I'm delegating a lot more decisions to my COO. I want my acquisitions people to be able to go make decisions on what they can offer, how they can negotiate, and deals that they can bring without having to come to me to be like, Casey, does this one work? Can we buy this deal? I want to train them better and give them more parameters, which has always been a challenge in creative finance, because I'm a creative brain, and that's what makes us so good in creative finance. But trying to teach that, I want to continue to refine that. But I want all the way down, like, I want at every level of my business, those people take ownership in what they're doing. So I can go be a visionary, speak, which helps bring in more business, help more families, and achieve my bigger goals. What systems or communication structures do you have in place with investors? Ooh, that's a good one. So we currently use a CRM. We use Go High Level, and we have with our accredited fund, Bighorn Capital, we have an investor portal that we can communicate with. And for our fractional offering, Revive Club, we can communicate through the fractional platform. So those are different ways we communicate for that. And as far as systems, we have like quarterly updates. With Revive Club, we're going to have monthly updates. We also try to use ChatGPT when it comes to when we go do an update. We try to use ChatGPT to help convert that from a video, because I like being on video and I like just talking and interacting with people. And then we work on converting that into written newsletters or check-ins. So if somebody wants to read it, they can take it in that way. How do you know you're still growing, but not at the cost of your personal life? Ooh, that one's good. I think I'll always know that I'm growing. I'm always going to want to grow. But I think I just need to prioritize my personal life even better. And again, through a calendar, making sure that I'm intentful. A big thing that I try to do every year is I read Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, and then I try to go plan out my year. And I try to build it out I buy the big ass calendar, and I try to put everything on there in a year. And I've done it for 2 years and still not very good at it. But I want to get a little bit better each year to where I can plan out a full year and I want to be thinking like 3 months ahead, 6 months, 12 months, which is very hard for me, but I want to get better at that. So personally, I know my wife and our relationship will be so much better is if on Sundays I'm carved out an hour to just plan with her. So she's a planner. She wants to know what's happening, but like sit down with her and get her on the same page. And we never do it because we have 4 kids and it's chaos and there's never time to just sit and plan. But I need to find that time because I think if we plan out the week with her and she has input and she knows what's going on, like it's going to do wonders for us. So that's a big one I want to implement that I still have. I'm going to add one more. Again, you guys are getting a ton of vulnerability right now. I overbook myself so much that I sometimes feel like I'm blurring the line of integrity. And integrity is so important to me, but I want to do so much and I'll tell people I can do it when I haven't been realistic about my time. And that lets people down. And to me, integrity is doing what you say when you say you're going to do it. And even though I have the right intent, sometimes I'm letting people down because I'm taking on too much. So that's something I want to get way better. Also including being on time for things. I'm notoriously always late because I'm always trying to squeeze as much as I possibly can. So another thing I'm trying to personally work on is arrive where I'm going 15 minutes early. And then with technology, I can do whatever work I need to do because I don't like going 15 minutes earlier and like having 15 minutes of dead time. But realistically, I could just get there 15 minutes earlier and then I can still do everything I need off my cell phone. So I'm going to work on that so other people can depend on me more. All right, let's do the next one. So now let's anchor one final move. This one is around team ownership and systems. What is one critical change you can make over the next 90 days to delegate decisively or install systems to reduce your decision-making mode? All right, guys, this is going to sound really good. You guys are going to be impressed, but it's because I just went through this yesterday on my whiteboard with my COO. So we got a little bit of practice. So don't feel like you guys are going to be able to nail this like I am. Like when you guys do this, you're going to fumble through it, but who cares? It doesn't matter. Like you can go do it. Like you guys can walk down the hallway. I did a lot of these too when I was just out walking or running or whatever you're doing. Like go get some private time. Like no one's going to judge you because you don't come out right. And it's incredible how good it's going to do, even as it just stream of conscious, right? Which as you guys can tell, that's my style. All right. Here we go. Okay, what is one critical change I can make in the next 90 days to be more decisive and install systems? So biggest thing I'm trying to do in the next 90 days is have budgets for all our different projects, right? We just bought a 120 unit apartment complex. I want to give them the budget that they need to go invest more money and more capital to fill, because we have a little bit of vacancy. So we're going to go crush that and fill the vacancy. So I want to give them the KPIs and I want them to know the budget. On all my future fix and flips, I want to have a defined budget and I want to be able to give that to my project manager and cascade that down to the foreman who leads the job. And then the other biggest thing that I'm trying to do in 90 days, I'm actually trying to do this in 2 weeks, is have my bookkeeping so dialed in that we can go pull our profit and loss or the profitability of that flip whenever we need, or at least weekly, and have weekly reporting. That way, we have a good feedback loop for my construction teams. They can know where they at, because historically they just go do it and we go look at the back at the very end and we say, how did we do? Well, we were way over budget. Well, would have been nice to know that in real time so we could have made decisions. So big thing is having budgets on every project, okay? And then I also want to look at, when I look at bigger opportunities, like, okay, if I'm going to go, right now I'm looking at a co-living deal to raise capital for in North Carolina. Like I want to know how much do I need to raise and what does the project cost? And I want to have all that nailed in so we know defined targets. So once we go forward with it, I can hand that off to my team and they know exactly the KPIs they're tracking. They know the budgets and they have everything they need. The other big thing over the next 90 days is I'm working with my COO to update our accountability chart and update how we delegate decisions. I'm going to say that one again so I make sure I capture it, but how we let other people in our company, how we delegate decision making. Who is responsible for what decisions can they make? And the other big one I was trying to work on was I want to spend less time making decisions. And the way I do that is my goal is I'm going to have a 90-minute level 10 meeting every week with the COO, and then 30 minutes a day with my sales team or whoever needs me. 30 minutes a day, I'm going to challenge them to come with the decisions they need help with and try to bring them in that 30 minutes per day. And they're going to still need me throughout the day, but I'm going to track that. And the biggest thing I'm going to try to track is I want to get it down to where only 4 hours a week I have to help make decisions, and my team can make decisions the rest of the week. And then when and I'm encouraging my team to come to me with what we call our 1-3-1 framework. Anybody heard of that? Dan Martell. So you have one problem, bring 3 possible solutions, and the one proposed outcome that you recommend. So I want to encourage my team to do all that. All right, awesome. Here we go. So you guys want to see the output? So this is what we got. Again, I did the condensed one. We're going to dive a lot deeper as we go. And and myself, like my vision's a lot deeper than this, but this is what we did in about 30 minutes, okay? You can see my 10-year vision. You're a high impact speaker traveling the world. Your business runs without you. You attract, lead, and grow rockstar teams. You're deeply present with your wife and kids. Total time freedom. In 3 years, I want to have calendar mastery, fully empowered team, investor trust built through systems and cadence. Growth is happening with integrity and personal sacrifice, right? My 90-day is weekly planning on Sundays with my wife, sacred and consistent. I love that. Arrive 15 minutes early and audit your time to restore your integrity buffer and implement budgets, KPIs, and delegation. Is that pretty cool, guys? So we got that. And again, I'm going to give that caveat one more time that don't expect it to be this easy for you. It's going to take you a little bit longer because I've been thinking about this stuff. I pay a lot of money to be a part of masterminds that help me ask these questions, right? I just paid for a coach to help coach me to ask me these questions, okay? You guys aren't going to be quite there yet, but you can get, I believe me, you're going to be able to get what you need from this, okay? How does the vision feel? What part excites you? So this is where I could go deeper though, right? I'm not going to do this right now, but what part excites you? What might feel like your hardest thing to follow through on? And then you're just going to keep, you see the layers, right? You're going to keep pulling back layers and layers and get this thing more refined, okay? And the cool thing is for our live audience, we're going to have a hot seat, several of them tonight, where they're going to go through this in the meantime or get through as much as they can. And then we're going to come up here and break it down and we're going to ask these deeper questions, okay? One thing I did want to show you guys, I prompted the ChatGPT to get me through this fast. I would figure out how much time you have to go through it, okay? But if you need to speed it up, you could tell it to go faster. Be like, hey, like Will and Mira, they're going to be on the hot seat tonight and they might not get all the way through. And they'll be like, hey, I got to go on stage in 10 minutes. You say, hey, can you move this through faster? And just prompt it, tell ChatGPT. Understand what I mean by prompt? Some of the new people to ChatGPT, like literally, it's your kid or whoever you're telling, just tell it what to do. It will actually do what you want to. This is something you guys don't have to do all at once. Come back to it, pause, and jump in at any point. It's all memorized in there. That's why I spent so much time and money to get it set up for you guys, so it could all be sat inside of here.